Hi, it's Mark from Top Local Lead Generation. We're here with franchise expert Chuck Prenevost. Chuck is a franchise expert for all of Western Canada. We're going to talk about some of the kind of core places where you can get the best advice possible if you're buying a franchise. How are you doing today, Chuck?
Doing excellent, Mark. Another glorious rainy day out on the coast.
Yeah, but the snow is falling too. So, how do you get the info you need from what might be the best kind of sources?
Yeah, it's a great topic, Mark. It's an area that, we talked last week about having the right mindset and approaching research in a proper frame of mind that way. How do you get the right information and frankly, what's that source, right? That's a big question a lot of people have. And and in short, the most valuable information is going to come from speaking with franchisees, the existing business owners, right? They're the ones that live and breathe this particular franchise day in and day out. And they're the ones that will give you the honest truth about what life is really going to be like if you decide to buy into this franchise system. And, it's again, I stressed previously about you need to talk to people and engage in conversations to get a good understanding. Using the internet as the sole source of information is very detrimental to research. So you definitely need to talk to people. So really, how do you get this information? Right? That's the next question that follows suit. Once you've completed the initial, so let me back up a step. You talk with the franchisors first. You learn about the concept. That usually takes 3 or 4 phone calls. And, I've mentioned it before, they're checking you out as much as you're checking them out about how strong of a fit it is. So, assuming there is a good fit at that point, then the franchisors will say, here's a list of all of our franchisees, contact information, emails. And your job at that point is to engage with those particular franchisees. And, what you really want to do is talk to, I always recommend a minimum of 12 phone calls to the existing franchisees. Each phone call is going to be 1 hour in length. So there's 12 hours right there. So are you going to learn stuff in 12 hours? Absolutely, you will. So it's important to engage with top performers, 3 or 4 calls with the middle performers and 3 or 4 calls with the people who are struggling, for whatever reason. And through that process, you're going to get a very broad understanding and perspective of what your life may look like if you decide to get into, buy into that franchise system. And after you make all 12 of those calls, you want to be asking yourself, who am I most like? Am I more like the top performers, the middle, or the ones that are struggling? And therein lies part of your answer. If you're more like the bottom third, then maybe this is not a good opportunity for you for whatever reason, right? It just may not fit that way. So talk to the franchisors, engage with those franchisees, but when you actually do talk to the franchisees, here's the critical pieces of information that I always recommend that you want. And the first one is the training programs, right? If I buy this system, what is the franchise or how is the franchisor going to train me? And that's, how supportive are they going to be? Excuse me. Do I have to go somewhere to a head office to get trained? Can I do it online? What's the commitment level there, the time involved for that? So you really want to understand how supportive they are in that role. The next area is really opening support and ongoing support. Break it down. Opening support, for instance, if you were opening a small retail operation, right? When's the last you negotiated a lease with a landlord? I know for me, it was over probably 12 years ago. So the franchisor brings some of this expertise to the table. So lease negotiation, build out, design, getting the permits from the municipalities or the cities. How much support do they give you that way? And then, of course, the ongoing support is more, um, you want to understand how they deal with problems. For sure, they've dealt with problems in the past. You want to understand what systems and processes they put in place to overcome those. And, you really want to get a sense of how focused they are on making you be successful long term. Okay, so that's that ongoing support that way. The marketing program is also a area that most franchise companies will charge a royalty, but there's also a marketing fee. Usually it's about 1%. Okay, so you want to understand where's that money being spent. That usually goes into advertising and build the brand that way. Oftentimes, a US franchisor comes to Canada, they charge this marketing fee. What you want to understand is, will that money stay in Canada or go to a big, the big pool and be used more perhaps south of the border, or where do I get value out of that? So there's an area of marketing that a lot of people are, potentially are not aware of. And franchisees will tell you all about that, good, bad, or otherwise. The last two areas is really culture. As you speak with these franchisees, you're going to get a really good sense of what is the relationship with the franchisor and the franchisee. Again, how supportive are they? How reactive when you do have problems or inquiries? How do they deal with it? So again, do they have my back and want to see me be successful long term? And the last area really is the money side. Earning. How much money did you make? How long to break even? How long have you been in business? So most people are reluctant to tell you that information. And the way I've laid it out here, it's by design that you ask the financial question last, because the whole time you're building a rapport, you're asking good questions, and the person on the other end of the phone is going, this person's legitimate. They're serious about looking at buying this business. So you save the financial questions to the end, because they're more likely to answer those questions at the end than they are up front. So that's asking those questions in a proper order. It will be you will be more successful in getting the answers you're looking for. So there is a overview of what are the where's the source of information, the franchisees, and then once you get them on the phone, what are the good areas I need to know about to really understand this franchise concept? And in fact, is it a good match for me?
I think these are dynamite kind of tips, especially that one that you offered about, where am I am I in the top third? Am I most like the top third, the middle third, or the bottom third? Again, back to, our first conversations, having that hard look at yourself and telling the truth. Again, another symphonic repetition of, geez, I got to look at myself and make sure I'm a fit, and being honest.
Absolutely. I would say to people that, if you're serious about looking at any business opportunity, you have to make more than likely a commitment of at least 60 to 90 days of doing proper research and conducting your due diligence before you can make a solid, informed decision. Is this the right business for me or not? And these are all steps along the way to help you bring that kind of clarity and reach your goal of business ownership, if that in fact is your goal.
Awesome. So we've been talking with Western Canada's franchise expert, Mr. Chuck Prenevost. You can reach him at 1-604-849-0278. Are you making a career change? Are you looking at buying a franchise? This is the guy who will hold your hand, walk you through it, he's been through the process many times. He can help you make the right decision for you and your family's future. Thanks, Chuck.
Thanks very much, Mark.